Going in for the hog. Let's hear it one more time for Nightmare. We've been so blessed to watch these players throughout the year and their journeys of the OWCS inaugural season. Jake and Johnny back with me to set up our next lower bracket match. That means it's another elimination game. That means we have to say goodbye to yet another team. And we have questions for both of these teams, obviously, and we hope they will be answered here. Once again, quick reminder on where we're currently at in our tournament. Here's a bracket after just 1.5 days of action. Johnny, what was the biggest surprise for you thus far?
Well, the big surprise is inarguably NRG, who to many was the worst team heading into the tournament. But now already surviving 2 rounds in the lower bracket with their unique Junker Queen composition. They found a composition that works for them and a playstyle that works for those players. And it's been mightily impressive. And now in our very next match, we're going to see Twisted Minds, another team who's found a bit of an off-meta composition that, again, they found capable of getting wins for them.
That's right. And Twisted Minds will be bringing it to Toronto Defiant. Will their very unique composition work against Toronto Defiant? A team that so far has not been looking too hot in that meta, Jake. I feel like thus far, maybe not performing to most people's expectations.
I don't think this is Toronto Defiant's ideal meta, but I think they are probably super happy to face an opponent that's very vulnerable to counterpicking. I think there's few teams more than Toronto that love to counterswap, get ahead strategically on their opponents, and Twisted Minds has made no secret of what they're going to play. I mean, it's pretty obvious they're going to keep running this Ash Farah style, and you know, come hell or high water, they're committed to it. I think, though, Toronto Defiant, they have the tools they need. I think Stalker figured it out, right? Like the opportunity to play a hard hit scan into that relatively passive, slow backline DPS comp. Merit could be a huge key for Toronto Defiant. I think if he's unleashed on the hit scan, he could really run rampant in this series.
Sorry, but that's someone hero shot there. Absolute main character energy. For good reason, though. I mean, this team has been so dominant all season long. It'd be a real shame to see them going out on day 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's what Jake is talking about. They're so good at adapting, and that is why they've been dominating in North America, winning all 4 stages in North America. It's because whatever the meta is, they're going to find a way to make one single hero swap that is going to make the entire difference in the game. So now you go up against Twisted Minds, who excel playing a Farah composition, which, again, they've been doing so well all year, but isn't a meta hero. Toronto Defiant, they're going to be so confident in going in with a game plan that is going to counter Twisted Minds. The big question is, can Twisted Minds actually outplay them because of their sheer individual mechanical skill because of Quartz and Labda?
I mean, if we're looking at their earlier performances just yesterday, they did take it to Falcons, they won Oasis, and that was based on not just because they played something wonky, but it was absolute highlight-worthy moments from that DPS duo. Quartz has been playing out of his mind, Labda as well. That was so much firepower that Falcons had to stand up against.
Yeah, I think crucially, this is such a scary team because at the very start of the fight, that is when Twisted Minds' composition excels. They find picks early when the enemy team is approaching. And so you have to find a way to navigate all the poke damage coming in from the Farah and the poke damage coming in from Quartz. Quartz, who is one of the best hit scan players in the entire world. Now, if you can navigate that, if you can get up close to this composition, that is when it really crumbles. And that is when I think Toronto Defiant, they'll be able to survive. They'll utilize their support players to walk up and get close to Twisted Minds, and then they'll put pressure. That is when they will get on top of the Twisted Minds, and that is when Twisted Minds will struggle. So, can Labda and Quartz find those picks? That is what it comes down to in this series.
Do you think that there is a world where we see Twisted Minds being forced off of that composition? Will they be forced into playing just normal meta? And if so, can they compete?
I think at this point it's probably a little too late for them to try to change things up. I think you do go down with the ship, but I don't think it's unwinnable for them. I mean, Quartz and Labda, this has been off meta the whole time. Team said in scrims they got destroyed, they couldn't perform, but on match, they're popping off, right? And when you play this Ash Farah style, there's always the opportunity for just individual playmaking to carry you through the most difficult moments. And honestly, even across the meta, right? Like, these are off-meta heroes, but the ults are powerful, right? Rocket Barrage, incredibly useful when teams are locked down by the Mauga. Same for the Bob from Ash. So I really think this is not going to be easy for Toronto Defiant. They're going to have to find a way through with probably limited prep. It's going to be more on feel and read from Kasaurus and the boys.
Right on. Well, will we be losing the last hope for EMEA at the hands of Toronto Defiant, who have been a juggernaut all year long? Let's find out in this second elimination match of the day. We send it over to Golden Boy on our stage.
Thank you so much for that, Zoe. Yes, we have another elimination match on the docket. This one, high pressure without a doubt. So let's not waste any time and bring out your first team. Folks here at DreamHack, put your hands together for the Toronto Defiant.
The undisputed kings of North America come to Europe, come to reverse their fortunes of Dallas. Here, though, they face elimination. Backs against the wall. Do they have what it takes?
And now it's time to bring out their opponent, the last hope for EMEA. Make some noise for Twisted Minds!
The last hope for EMEA indeed, and underdogs fighting in the lower bracket. The best para player in the world, Labda, and Quartz, such an amazing hit scan player. Is it going to be enough to take down the kings of North America?
All right, folks, the stage is set. The players are ready to go. Coaches, please fist bump. Take to your stations. And folks, let's go ahead and make some noise for Twisted Minds versus the Toronto Defiant. Come on, Stockholm.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. Toronto Defiant and Twisted Minds. We're in the lower bracket now. No more mistakes. 0 can be made.
No more mistakes, no more lifelines. This is where the tournament ends or continues for one of these teams. And it's gonna be a tough battle. We've got Toronto Defiant, the best in North America, versus Twisted Minds, who have had the comeback of the season after their wicked start in OWCS EMEA and finding themselves here as the last EMEA team standing.
Yeah, I mean, they're up against the God Squad from NA, and they've been playing off meta. Twisted Minds have their own variety. Same with like NRG, right? They're running a lot of Queen, a lot of Sombra, but they're running the Mauga. They're happy with that, but they're running the Pharah and the Ashe. Johnny, Jake, they pointed out on the desk, Zoe as well, talking about how different the comp is being. And when we cast them even yesterday, Rose, the strengths of that comp we were discussing, you want to just sit back a little bit, poke first, rather than be going full frontal assault into the front line. We want to just kill you as fast as possible. Lab has been setting up Quartz just stupendously. You land one rocket and a headshot from Quartz, and that's it. A player is erased from the map. Can they actually topple Toronto Defiant is another question entirely, though.
And Toronto Defiant, they just suffered a huge blow to the hands of this just insane Echo composition, as well as even having to deal with a Pharah. So you know they have the experience of already dealing with this composition, but can they actually find the key to success versus Twisted Minds are going to be running something very, very similar. One way to find out, first map on the docket, we are going to Ilios to kick off this series.
Bit of an odd one too. I mean, Ilios is pretty decent when it comes to running the Pharah and the Ashe. If you can set up on that high ground above the point, it'd be very beneficial to Quartz. Toronto Defiant also hovering the same thing. Merit, no slouch on the hit scan. I still remember every single time I say Merit's name, 2022, when Sojourn was enabled, triple Railgun Kalat. One of the best highlights in Overwatch Esports history. Sugar Free TPing with the sim. They're out the gate. And Tracer it is for Sugar Free. So Twisted Minds, we know what they're going to play, but Toronto bringing their own kind of a flavor here as well. TVNT Rose going to be happy with this matchup as well. Came into the team as the D.Va player, did so well in that meta.
Yeah, but while TVNT gets a chance to play this comfort D.Va, you take a look at someone being able to play that comfort Winston. Both of these tank players being able to play one of their absolute best heroes, with the rest of the team being able to back them up. Quartz and Labda, of course, as expected, coming out with that Ashe and Pharah, but Toronto being able to bring out the rest of this God comp with the Ashe and Tracer of their own.
That's going super low. TVNT as well, just kind of looking 6 different directions at once. Easy cleanup there for Toronto Defiant. Twisted Minds, turn, tail, and trying to run. And he might not be able to get out of this. Good bubble placement coming through is Sugar Free. Chase them all the way to spawn. Bliss unable to get that health pack out.
And that's a really big stagger. It's going to buy Toronto so much time. RuPaul is already built up to a nano boost, able to give that over to someone. like someone, and just make sure that that Winston's going to be really powerful in that backline. But this is also why we get him to getting a chance to see RuPaul on one of his own best heroes. That mechanical skill going to come in so handy versus this Lab Defara.
Oh, someone taking a lot of damage there. Kind of just jump spotting. Here comes the nano boost though onto the high ground. Someone missing the jump there, but it was actually TVNT that booped him off slightly. So this nano boost isn't even going to afford them any space.
No, it's completely wasted here, which buys a little bit more time for Toronto to figure out the next move, and that's going to be having to deal with this Pharah first.
Pharah, yeah, on with the nano. RuPaul trying to run for cover. Manages a seductive dive and dodge away from Lambda, but quickly dealt with. Super low as Lambda finds a double onto the backline. Toronto Defiant with only Sugar-Free left. It's going to be a hard battlefield to fight with this Bob, but it's all good. A couple of inspired procs there by Bliss to heal up the rest of the team. 73% on their first cap. Toronto happy with that.
Yeah, and they get to come back into this with that Sugar-Free Pulse Bomb, not extended in that last fight, looking for a nice target on a Bliss or MCD. Someone also going to have the Primal Rage as a way to be able to bat this Pharah out of the skies. Lata has a barrage all ready to go after that nano from MCD.
Primal Rage and Pulse Bomb for Toronto Defiant. Labs are looking for somebody, getting protected by that Diva Matrix, but a bit of an awkward one. Wasn't really an open space, he's using it in, so everyone was able to tuck behind cover, behind those corners, and Merit and Sugar-Free. Oh, and someone, woo! Knocks MCD straight off the edge. Kills him before he hit the water. 85% of building TVNT cannot afford to lose the mech.
Has to sit laying in wait for the rest of the team to be able to back him up. As he looks to make this final approach, Toronto, though, holding that front line. Someone's already here to meet this Diva.
Self-destruct Bob. The only real things I've got to work with right now. Overtime triggered by TVNT, but he's going disastrously low. Has that extra lifeline. Cannot afford to be killed as Pilot Diva. Is going to be successfully get the remake, but they end up trading. Merit and Lambda, each trade for both squads as the Bob has been deployed. Twisted Minds do end up capping as well. In amongst the chaos. And now someone trying to control the high ground, not giving Quartz any space, but Quartz don't need it. That dynamite kill onto Vega is good for one.
Someone's got to back up, though. Tanks a lot of that damage, is going to get RuPaul another nano boost, and maybe with the nano in the rally, Toronto are able to steal the deal on this first round. MCD has another one, though, and so if you give that over to Lambda, that is going to be a big source of damage you have to deal with.
Nano boost onto the far, he's diving the backline yet again, and double dunk on to Vega, will take out the brick. And now turning his sights towards RuPaul, but it is Merit with the backup. Overtime here, and a nano boost onto the Winston. That's a good sleep, though, from MCD. Can Bliss and MCD survive the onslaught? It looks like it. Someone now jumping to the point, tries to contest, but it will be Twisted Minds to actually end up capping.
Twisted Minds turn tail and run just a little bit to get a reset as Toronto look for an opportunity to actually take this point back under control. It's going to be Sugar-Free trying to throw the Pulse Bomb.
Both supports are just grouped up, a perfect place for a Trace to be looking for something. Oh, but Lambda, out of nowhere, ends up taking down Sugar-Free with a body shot. Someone might be able to do it though, but against the rally, it's going to be a hard-fought arse, but it's all good, because you can always rely on Merit. Lambda down, the health bars are dwindling for Twisted Minds. Toronto in control, 69% is all they're going to get. Toronto take the first round. Hey, you bring the Pharah, you bring the Ashe. Oh, we got a sharpshooter on our squad as well. Merit coming up clutch at the end.
Merit is still one of the best hit scans in the entire world, and that is the display of why. Being able to snipe out that Pharah from the skies, you have such great sight lines and great advantage with something like those dynamites as well. We're gonna see if Twisted Minds actually want to stick to this Ashe Pharah. What do they put with that tank? Because the Diva wasn't enough to actually be able to stunt that Ashe, even with the defense matrix.
Different topology on this map, of course. So yeah, Diva, although quite effective getting up to the high ground, if you want to fight on the point, the Mauga, like you mentioned, probably the best place to use it. You know what Twisted Minds can do. Sugar-Free is going to have a bit of a harder time, especially killing Twisted Minds' backline. MCD is going to be a lot more slippery than Nana.
A little bit more ability there from that Juno. And you look at this Mauga being able to just be so beefy that Tracer might have a lot of difficulty being able to break through that. But look at this Pharah. Lambda having a hard time being able to set up because Merit is just on block.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a dominant position, but what? Okay, RuPaul is dead. Assuming RuPaul was in main, just took a couple of shots from Quartz and Lambda, and that's what we kind of expect, right? Quartz or Lambda chunking down the backline, and then the other one finishes them off. Point unlocked, Mr. Minds get the cap, and oh, a little boop as well. Okay, you're pretty happy with that one. And this is the space they want to control. All right, Merit just goes for the reset. Because as soon as you have Merit on that off angle, like you said, it can be so hard for Lambda to get an angle.
But now these off angles are getting shut down by where Quartz and Lambda position themselves. Lambda locking down one choke. Quartz has that angle. And Toronto going back to the drawing board, figure out where they want to actually take the next approach. We've got Vega on the Lucio, so a little bit easier to get in, but even before Toronto get back to this point, Lambda has sniped out another player.
Pretty annoying fighting the Pharah at that angle. Just basically just hopping up and down, just not exposing yourself too much. You can spam main, you can also spam the high ground on top right. And then TVNT just sits there. It's like, okay, well, you come to me.
And if you peek out, then you might accidentally take a direct rocket from Lambda, which Quartz can easily follow up on.
Right. Quartz going pretty low though, use the coach gun to get away. Bob deployed on the point, MTD in trouble. Orbital ray available, but not anymore. That Bob is going to help secure this point, I would imagine. TVNT also turning tail and running. Oh, a stick from Sugar Free, that'll be it. All right, Lenny's online.
Lenny's online, Toronto take back control of this point, start to rack up their own percentage. Another nano boost here from RuPaul, able to gift that over to someone who's going to have the Primal Rage up very shortly as well. So a lot of sustain in this next fight that Twisted Minds have to burst through. Quartz and Lambda though, almost ready with their own DPS ultimates, so a lot of ways to be able to fight this.
Orbital Ray, wow, that is an extremely defensive Orbital Ray, but someone just gets blown up, even in Primal Rage. I mean, 5 players looking at you with the extra damage. Yeah, you're gonna die. That 1,000 health doesn't do anything. All right, double DPS ult, Twisted Minds. Ideally for them, they don't end up using these ultimates right now. Sugar Free dodging out of the way. Bash gets the nano boost, chasing down Lambda as fast as he possibly can. The barrage, it scores 1 kill. TVNT's gonna get another, and Sugar Free, that nano, it's good, but the range you're fighting Quartz, it's just not enough to get that 1 clip. An MTD kills Sugar Free, RuPaul dead to the Bob. That's a good fight for Twisted Minds. They've still got Rally, they've still got Cage, and Toronto Defiant. That sound barrier is gonna have to be pretty big to get something done here.
Yeah, and the sound barrier could just get walled off by this Cage. It's gonna have to be frame perfect. Vega, very good at this hero, should be able to weave that in, but it's still a lot to ask of just a single Lucio. When Twisted Minds have that Rally to be able to contend with that, and you still have all of this poke damage before Toronto can make their next move.
Yeah, because this comp plays a little bit slower than the normal Mauga comp. Takes time for Toronto to find set up. That's a good start though. Sound barrier deployed and a kill onto the Pharah. Now someone trying to get the cap here as the rest of his team try and fight in this small corridor, but RuPaul and Vega are down. No supports available for Toronto Defiant. Rally deployed, as well as that Cage. OT situation for Toronto. They've got players alive. They can go for touches here. You can see Sugar Free ducking in and out. Has to hit the recall, but they need backup and they need it fast.
Someone's coming back on the Diva. That's going to be one way they get back into this. RuPaul on the Juno as well. So much speed.
Of course, it's been found by Sugar Free. Still got a coach gun though, and Sugar Free doesn't have recall for another couple of seconds. He gets taken down. A swift headshot from Quartz. This doesn't end up getting pooped off the map, but I think it's too little, and it's way too late.
Twisted Minds tying up this map with a round win, and a pretty decisive one. One of the best arenas for that Ashe and that Pharah to function when you know you have these great corners to play around. A little bit more exposed though as we head over to Ruins to settle the score on Ilios. And maybe Toronto hovering over a couple of changes. Remember that Toronto is one of the most flexible rosters of players that we have. Someone able to play any single tank in the roster. Sugar Free and Merit as well, just so capable on those flex DPS and hit scan respectively.
Quartz rolling out with the Widowmaker though. A very scary affair. I wonder if Merit's going to do the same thing. Yes, okay. Getting the Widow duel. Merit versus Quartz. Even a lot of the Korean players, especially when Quartz started really blowing up, especially in EMEA, saying he's one of the more scary hit scan players to actually face. His aim so crisp, but Merit definitely on the same caliber.
they can go head-to-head, but you look at Sugar Free being able to help out with that Widow 1v1. Maybe you're able to go in and give Merit a little bit of support to be able to take out that Widowmaker in Quartz.
Yeah, I mean, look at this positioning. Quartz knows exactly that. Sugar Free can be there to kind of subdue Quartz, and then Merit gets a free angle. TVNT is super low. Easily taken advantage of. A couple of dash resets there for Sugar Free. There's a team kill.
Now, while we were paying attention to that Widow 1v1, there was a whole different battle happening in the front line. TVNT was like 10 HP. And then you get that huge slash through from Sugar Free while Toronto had already taken over the point. Oh my goodness, Merit. Already on a roll.
Go on, my son.
One more?
Not quite. All right, now the slow walk up. Oh, Quartz, okay. A little bit of revenge there. Sugar Free down. Very close to this Infosite as well. So Merit's going to be acutely aware of that. Looks like TVNT, Bliss, and MTD are going to take the point, or at least try to. Body shot from Merit. Spots the Farah. Misses the shot, but Quartz does not. Vega down. Grappling up to try and get the sight on the enemy Widow. Can't quite find him, and that will be the point flipped. And now Quartz. Oh, you're in the driving seat in the Widow duel. You just have to worry about the grapple, which is coming in a second.
Yeah, but already has that avenue on lock. Really great vantage point, good sight lines. You've got the actual Widow sights now that you can utilize just to stall out a little bit longer. It also gives Lambda some great vision to be able to get that splash damage. Merit could open this up though.
It's got good angle. Well, they know exactly where Merit is now, sadly. Oh, there's the orbital raise in the cage coming through from TVNT. Cage is destroyed pretty rapidly as Vega, just swinging through. Cleaving them down. Vega gets another. Okay. Well, Quartz is taking down RuPaul, but Sugar Free's hot on the case. Double kill for the Widow, but good luck against someone on the Malga. Ain't happening, unfortunately.
Widowmaker not nearly enough point presence to be able to deal with that tank, but still a great fight. Twisted Mind's able to even up the score just a little bit in those final moments, but Toronto have full control. Looking at that blade. I know you've got the barrage, but I think Sugar Free is so ready for that.
I'm trying to get an angle, it's going to be tough. Blade comes in, Quartz down, hunting, searching for his next target. Lambda, oh, what a reflect! Lambda dead, 2 kills for Sugar Free. Riley ends up coming in for Bliss. A pretty late one, but they're going to have to press the issue now. Toronto Defiant are running away with this. Look at this small room. Sugar Free's just getting reset after reset. Lambda's back from spawn, having to go straight back. Doesn't want to fire a rocket once again. 5% away. Toronto Defiant. And the hand is Sugar Free there. They end up taking the first match.
I love the player
All the
videos
player
that we
cards
get. Yeah, it's like they've got so much personality. You can see for Toronto that they're locked in, they're focused. You got a chance to see some Merit Widowmaker. That was so fun. The Widow 1v1s, the Sugar Free Genji. I'm so here for it. They're pulling everything out, all the stops.
And I wonder if that's going to be a trend too. Just pulling out an Ashe, pulling out a Widow, pulling out a hit scan to try and duel with Quartz. Rather than going, okay, well, we're going to play Echo, we're going to play Reaper. Because Quartz does need to be shut down eventually, because if you give them time and space, like dynamite, headshots, we saw what happened to it on Well. It will be Twisted Minds, of course, picking the next map. So expect to see a lot more Merit Ashe. Hopefully some more Widow. If I had it my way, I'd have Widow POV the entire time.
I know, we missed some really good headshots, but...
A lot more talented people than me doing the ops right.
I've missed seeing Widowmaker. It's been so much fun to be able to watch these two go at it. And it has been a very long time since we've really seen Widowmaker be a staple in the meta. So if this keeps up, I think we're in for a very good series. Already, it was so close. It's going back and forth with these round wins. But Lambda is the issue. We need to see Toronto Defiant deal with Lambda on this far, deal with Quartz. I think they had cracked it, being able to put Sugar Free on that Genji and forcing them to have to fight in those small rooms. But it's going to take a lot of this different meta game plan in order to actually win the series.
Yeah, and a lot of it does come down to map reliance too. I can imagine maybe see something like, if they want to take a bit of a long-range hit scan duel, Maybe something like Midtown.
Circuit.
Could go to Circuit, yeah. Could go to Circuit. Obviously, Widow is the question. I mean, traditionally, Widow's always played in Circuit, like snipers kind of thing, but I think Ashe is also has a large amount of viability. I do like the sugar-free Genji, like you said. I think that's a very good point. Like, at the end of the day, if you're making your life, if you're making Merit's life, easier, then Merit is just gonna, you know, you can just chill, just shoot people, you can click heads, you don't need to worry as much. Oh, what a shot from Quartz there. It's another big tool as well, this play, which really forces Vega, not Vega, sorry, but like Brigitte players into a tough spot. You really have to save the bash if you're going to hit the rally. Hitting the rally early, that health, you know, the health pool does end up building up over time, but it's not instant. It's not instant anymore. So there are the stats from the last map as well. Pretty close across the board.
Yeah, it was. I mean, 1 round apiece, and we had to settle it all on Ruins. I feel like that is just a great precursor for what we should expect to see for the rest of this match. Pretty close, pretty back and forth. Called it though, it's gonna be King's Row as our next map, and there are no subs.
No subs, King's Row, yeah, there you go. Okay. Genji is gonna be the order of the day, I think, for Toronto.
I think so.
Makes the most sense. Yeah, and we seen how good Twisted Minds were, even against the first game they played against Team Falcons, ended up winning that. I don't think a lot of people had that on their bingo card. Any team taking a map off a Korean team, but hey, we ended up seeing it. That must have been a big confidence builder too for the team. Even though you end up losing that series, you are still in a spot where you're like, okay, we've already knocked one team out, we've taken a map off a Korean team. They must be sky high in terms of happiness, I guess.
Well, yeah, they did something almost impossible. We had not seen another team do that before. We ended up seeing Twisted Minds be able to accomplish the great. Toronto not necessarily being able to do that just yet, but maybe.
Elimination
maybe they
stage,
get another chance.
They need to get another chance first, but they're on a good streak right now, at least. A couple of rounds under your belt. You warmed up on stage already. We're in day number 2, and we are in the lower bracket. So only one more chance to kind of make your way through. On Twisted Minds map pick, we are going to King's Row.
King's Row so far in the World Finals, we have seen them mostly play Mauga. Just every single team looking at the Mauga. Maybe we got a chance to see something a little different as Toronto have to lock into their defensive composition. I think we got our wish.
Yeah, we actually did.
I think we actually got our wish.
Little Diva, little Merit Widow, okay. So Twisted Minds with TVNT. Curious if TVNT ends up going back to spawn and changing as soon as they see the Diva or they know the Diva is being played. Very good at kind of dealing with the cardiac overdrive because you just matrix the Mauga the entire time. And it's not a long ability anymore. It used to last for quite a while, but if you just stop all that damage going through, he can't heal himself. Gates unlocked. Twisted Mind with Quartz on the Widow. Ooh, okay. See if TVNT wants to change. Doesn't look like it, at least for the time, as they try and make that cross.
Taking their time, Twisted Minds don't want to overextend here. They want to wait for these cooldowns to be active. And they know that they have to pick a lane. Toronto Defiant are spread out all over this defensive point. There's still going to be a lot of this damage front to back before we end up seeing Twisted Minds maybe take out somebody with this Widowmaker.
Good nade too. I mean, RuPaul is very free in the sky right now. It's got someone to kind of protect him with the defense matrix as well. TVNT has to step out in the open, gets naded. Oh, that one actually went a little bit wide. I think RuPaul a little bit shocked about that as well. Lab just sailing past RuPaul's screen. A Quartz has started this one off already. Headshot onto Sugar-Free, knows exactly where Merit is. Merit in a very defensive position. Here, a body shot, so now Merit has to back off. And you take over the game now. Kill 1 DPS, force the Widow to back. Yeah, good luck holding on to the point. Twisted Minds, the very fast cap on point A.
Of course, getting any sort of pick is going to be tremendously impactful for Twisted Minds. You have the option to push forward when you do get those picks. Merit, though, with a really nice pop back onto Lapta. That evens up the score.
Saw that one coming. Hit them in the head, too. Just wasn't charged quick enough, sadly. Oh! You can't keep peeking him. Or you're going to have to now to try and get a kill, get a pick, get something. Look at that, cardiac overdrive as well. Nice shot. Quart, yeah, cracker the net. Yeah, he's locked in. He's ready to go.
That's something that you know with the Widowmaker, though. You have to play off of those emotions. You have to play off of confidence. And so if Quartz can keep getting picks like that, then you know you can keep cycling through with that momentum.
Right. You're playing too passive, right? You take more passive angles. Doesn't put as much threat on the enemy team.
Got the sights activated here from both of our Widows.
Oh.
So hang on.
They're going to wait until it runs out, then quick jump. Quick jump. Oh, not quite. I was hoping it.
The game of chicken.
Not to be. Unfortunately for someone. Oh dear. That's a cage into orbital ray used just to kill someone there. Merit's going to have to hit a couple of jump shots now, unfortunately. Rally doesn't getting deployed by Vega, but he's already so low. Look at these rockets raining death from above. We've got the barrage, but yeah, that shield just being just eviscerated. Toronto Defiant losing control of this game. Twisted Minds now with 5 minutes.
That is a lot of time for this third point. That is so much time. They still have this barrage as well as this rally. And we're seeing Toronto almost make some panic swaps. We had someone switch over to the Junker Queen just a couple of fights ago. Vega's now on the Zenyatta.
Oh, body shot. All right, okay. Got reflected too, that was lucky. Vega's actually on the Zen now of all things. I'm a lucky boy. Zenyatta against this comp, very nice. So much damage pumped out from the Zen, and the Malgrass play a little bit more careful when the Discord always applied to him. Oh, again! Quartz really showing up now. Both DPSs though, one on each side, have been traded. That does go down. But Quartz still in a good spot. Oh, spots the side of his body. Someone does end up using that Rampage, but really is kind of an escape tool there. Hits DVNT, but that was about it.
Respawns are back though for Toronto. We want Sugar Free to get set up with this blade. No one can hide. Of course, is hunting for another
They're going to go in. Yeah, as soon as that side spawns, we want to get rid of that. Nice bit of reflect damage there, but he's unable to lock someone down. But no, all good. Someone's there with Gracie to pick up Quartz. That orbital ray from MCD. Looking pretty weak, honestly. Good kill from Vega as TVNT just dives on in. That's a big ult for Toronto Defiant to get out of Twisted Minds. No rally, no cage, no orbital ray. They've only got the barrage. And it's going to be tough for Labs to get an angle on that.
Yeah, but there's still 3.5 minutes. So even if Twisted Minds don't hit their mark with this barrage, they still have so much time left to work with to get another rotation of ultimates up. Vega also has the Transcendence. I also think that's a great tool to be able to deal with something like the barrage. You can't actually out-heal everything, but it still gives you a good amount of grace.
Ooh. Merit almost got jump shot there. 15 seconds, just wait it out. You know he's going to hit the shot if you do peek your body around. So Quartz was also playing the defensive angle. Jumps up. Wow. Okay, Merit hasn't got grapple now, so Quartz can play a little bit more aggressive. But he's still trying, looks like Merit is still trying to get an angle on him. Transcendence used by Vega. Sugar Free's going to give that, give it a fair old try, trying to get into the back line. I mean, Quartz is under just an immense amount of pressure. Lambda defensive barrage will kill 2 though, and a Venom Mine kills RuPaul. 2.5 minutes to go. Vega having to back all the way up. Merit is still alive, so it's a very good opportunity for Merit to kind of settle the score, kill Bliss or MCD, but they're not going to give him a chance.
Quartz almost acted as bait right there. You were talking about Lambda being able to get an angle with that barrage, and that was the perfect place to do that. Twisted Minds with an orbital ray in their pocket for MCD, are looking to send this. Be able to finish out the map here.
Short grapple from Merit there, didn't quite get what he wanted, but he knows where Quartz roughly is. Still hiding all the way at the back. Orbital Ray and Rally available for Bliss, so maybe they take this one a little bit slower, but can't do that if Merit is just constantly peeking with that grapple. Good shot from Quartz though. Merit down.
Respawn advantage though, Merit's going to be able to come out pretty quickly. And someone can hold that front line with this Rampage.
Right.
So, double orbital ray, Rampage though in response. Could happen.
Rampage in response, yeah. Orbital Ray's going to do a lot of damage. Sugar Free going extremely low as Bliss gets him with the shield bash. There's the Rampage, but oh, where did someone go? He got slingshot to Numbani or something. That was almost the perfect answer, right? You rampage in the Juno ult, but the damage was just too much. 1 minute and 19 seconds. For Twisted Minds, importantly, over a minute in the time bank.
Everyone just got locked into the cage.
Right.
As soon as TVNT hit that, there was just really no room to respond. And so by the time that you actually got a chance to use that rampage, someone was already so low HP, easily cleaned up. So now Twisted Minds with over that minute. That's a really, really big deal, just based on how close this series has been so far.
Very, very slow as well. Slow and tempered.
See what Quartz does.
Yeah. Could go the Ashe, could go the Widow again. It's really awkward here because you're on the defense, so you can't really make hot swaps. But he's going to go the Ashe instead. It's what he did very well on the King's Row game the other day. Was just flanking with Ashe like solo. Well, solo in like quotes. Had the Bob. The Bob, deploy the Bob, split the team up, and then he just kind of sits around the Bob.
Yeah. Bliss has the hacks.
Right.
Makes those plays so much easier for Quartz. And I like locking it in now because we've seen Toronto just be so quick to the punch when it comes down to actually changing up their heroes if they see something different that they want to respond to. And so Quartz locking in with the Ashe, Toronto coming out of the gates with Vega on the Alari, as well as Merit on the Sojourn.
I've seen Zen, I've seen Alari.
All right, Vega. Okay. Show us what you got.
Honestly, love it. Alari does a lot of damage to the front line. And without a Widowmaker as well, a little bit more free, you can just basically sit there and do damage. You don't have to heal as much, or at least I don't like to heal as much, I just like to shoot people.
Vegas has some big carry performances with those Captive Suns as well, so if you're looking for explosive damage, you are looking for Vega to be able to build that up. Quartz shuts that down though.
Yeah, tough spot. I mean, Quartz, you saw him flanking with Bliss, just having that tag team, and a good dynamite as well on top of that. Oh, hello, Sugar Free. I'm not sure you're welcome here, not in this back line. And yeah, I mean, you see Sugar Free, he's trying to actually get on top of Twisted Minds, but they're not. You got the Brig, you got the Juno, you got everything kind of thrown at Sugar Free as soon as he tries to make a play.
And I like the healing pylon in theory, but Vega on the Brig is going to provide you a little bit more of that support with those armor packs. You are able to take those duels versus those DPS just a little bit easier. So Vega's gonna make that switch as Toronto Defiant, they try again. No ults just yet. MCD close to this orbital ray though, as well as Quartz to the Bob. So Twisted Minds might have a bit of an edge looking at this defense.
They're gonna speed ring through Hotel. That railgun shot going a little bit wide and RuPaul already goes down. Someone is trying to chase the back line, get them out through that choke. They're doing trading the Junos there, so it's just Brig and Brig healing for the time being. As I say that, a small little curse as Vega ends up going down, but a scrappy fight. Bob's still available from Quartz, so they can still hold it down, but Merit with a good shot. A railgun and a quick left click will kill the Ashe. Bob isn't going to be long for this world. He ends up falling over. 2 minutes to go now as Toronto Defiant put themselves on the point.
Wow, I've missed seeing Merit play Sojourn also. Going to have the overclock. Pick. Yeah, so big ultimate to have as we're going to see Twisted Minds try this again.
RuPaul trying to deal with Quartz. He's actually back on the trace. They had to push to a fast hero to get back in time. Both Juno ults being expended as well as RuPaul, 14 HP, struggling to stay alive. Quartz making full use of that Juno ult, that orbital ray, as Sugar Free is just resetting off the front line. 1 HP, goodbye. And there it is. Toronto with 4 minutes in the time bank. They cap point A.
Quartz under orbital ray, but look at the Genji under the orbital ray. Sugar Free able to use RuPaul's tremendously. You got this blade to be able to open up this next fight. Cage as well if you want to pair those two ultimates together. And Sugar Free has just been so good at being able to get that backline access. Looking at Quartz, shutting down all of that hit scan for Twisted Minds. They're waiting around the corner though.
Now they're going to make the move. Slowly pushing. Hard for Lab to get a big barrage here. A lot of the time you're going to see it coming unless you go over the buildings, but even then. There's the speed ring in. There's the blade. He's going to try and match the Pharah in the skies. Lab unleashes the Pharah barrage. Protected the whole time by Bliss. Bliss stood in front of Lambda, held the rally shield so Lambda could get full effectiveness on that barrage. If that's not teamwork, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's true support love right there. Everybody wishes they could have that pocket support in their own games, but Bliss delivering it in real time, and they know that it's because Toronto, every time you actually have that Pharah up, it's so vulnerable, especially to something like that railgun shot from Merit.
Cage on the corner for someone. Focusing TVNT, it looks like the rest of the Twisted Minds are going to dive on in the cage, but it's actually Laughter and MCD that go down. Okay. The push can commence for Toronto Defiant, only losing Vega in that fight.
And that's not too bad because your respawns aren't too far away. Vega's going to be able to get back before we see this payload out truly around this corner. Has the rally, orbital raid. There's a lot that Toronto can throw at this next fight. I'm looking at Merit's overclock to see if this can actually solidify the second point for them. There are not many shields outside of that Bliss Trig.
That is scary. An orbital raid, overclock, an over raid. A lot of ultimates coming up for Twisted Minds, however. A speed ring forward for Toronto Defiant, as well as that overclock being popped. Quartz is happy to kind of duel with Merit at that range. 1.74 meters to go though for Toronto Defiant as the rally straight to the back line. Merit taking a little bit of an off angle as Labdo once again lays down the barrage, but Sugar Free. Nice little reflect straight back to the Pharah. Bob's also kind of destroying the front line, but there's just too much healing. Way too much with that orbital raid. They'll stall for a little bit longer, but that will be that. MCD falls, point captured.
Very expensive fight there for Twisted Minds to lose it. They have the cage, maybe the rally for this next one, but Toronto with a sub 3 minutes try to finish out this third objective. You've got the blade again from Sugar Free that just might be good in these close quarters with something like TVNT's cage. Someone's gonna have one too.
A direct body shot there. Yeah, this cage coming out through from TVNT does result in a kill onto Vega, and now they can push all the way to spawn. Sugar Free just dying on the point. Trying to reset as quick as possible. All right, one not expended. So now you've got Blade, Cage for Toronto.
Even better that they saved the blade just to be able to work with their own cage. I was kind of thinking maybe if you trap him in that close fight, then Sugar Free gets a ton of resets because everybody wants to fight in the cage if you're Twisted Minds, but now Toronto have that big wombo combo. Bliss has the rally though, so that could be a bit of support.
There's the cage, there's the rally. Labda already dead, Blade popped. That rally, oh, Bliss was the main focus of Sugar Free there. And speaking about resets, oh, there was a ton of them from Sugar Free. And like you rightfully pointed out, everyone wants to fight in that cage. Twisted Minds thought they had the upper hand. They thought, we fight all together, we hit the rally, that overhealth, the Inspire proc. Disgusting amount of healing and damage, but not enough.
Totally backfired. You gave Sugar Free complete free reign with those slashes, but here's the bob from Merit.
Oh, but Labda's already dead. Quartz is kind of stuck in spawn right now, the dynamite at his feet. And now Merit just, he hit him a couple of times there. TVNT dead. Quartz struggling still to get out of spawn. He's getting healed eventually, but the payload is slowly but surely encroaching on that final point. And now they can just play in the rain. It's all Toronto there on that push. 1 minute and 3 seconds. Could not be closer on King's Row.
Yeah, those time banks are so similar. Twisted Minds finishing with 1 minute and 19 seconds. Very little wiggle room between these two teams. And also very little time for them to be able to look at these next rounds. Toronto is going to be up to bat first with the smaller time bank. But it's like these big picks can really open things up. I'm looking at Quartz and Merit to just blow the doors wide open for their team.
Just Merit again run out with the Widowmaker on the offense. Twisted Minds opting for the same thing here. Quartz back on the Ashe. No Widow. Labda on the Pharah. Don't think we're going to see Vega swap over to the Illari, sadly, but it's not enough time, really. Tough to get it actually working. Could pressure the Pharah somewhat, pressure the Juno, pressure a lot of things, like hit a headshot, hit a body shot, just kind of combo with your other DPS, but way more of a risky pick. Brig, so much safer.
Merit's making a decision right now, and a really tough one. You know, with almost a minute left, that's kind of one shot, and that's it. If you go out with something like the Reaper, that's one way you just completely run over that backline, And it looks like that's what Merit is going to lock into for this first attack attempt. We'll see if they stick to it as Sugar Free also looks for a good opening for this deflect. Look at it, just running on the back.
Nice pass to Bliss to try and get out of harm's way. Look at them completely split. Labja trying to play a little bit of defense right now, but TVNT is split from the team. Labja in this close quarters though, doesn't get taken down, but he takes one with him. There's the crunch from TVNT. Overrun straight in the small room, and a little bit of tiny Overwatch. Perfect for Merit, honestly, but here comes Quartz as well. And it's a risky strategy for Toronto to find. Hey, that's fine. You can build up ult charge, but you haven't got any time left, someone. 20 seconds to go, and not a single checkpoint on point A.
15 seconds remaining as Toronto needs someone to be able to respawn so they can attack. This is a full team of 5, and that's plenty of time for Twisted Minds to be able to come back with their own reinforcements. Merit wants to make this wrap, has the teleport to be able to try to get behind them.
Once again, enemy number 1 for Toronto Defiant. Twisted Minds happily enough to just 180 and kill someone. Just Ilios out of the range of his healers. I mean, Merit could do some damage here, sure, he's nearing this ult, but is he going to be able to survive through this Juno? Absolutely not. Orbital Ray rally. That's about done it. Twisted Minds are going to get the full hold on point A. And they got 1 minute and 19 seconds to get 33%.
Very risky strategy that Toronto tried to run with. With the Reaper, your entire goal was to try to walk over that backline, and unfortunately didn't feel like the whole team was on the same page in terms of how aggressive to take those pushes. So Twisted Mind's able to turn around, get someone out of the picture, and then turn focus onto the rest of the team as they were trailing behind. A minute and 19 though, it really isn't that big of a difference unless you take a look at maybe getting just a hair of a smidge of another attempt.
It's like 1.5, maybe, depending on how long the fight ends up going. You're not wrong. It's a risky attempt. Okay, Merit. Widowmaker time. All right. Same kind of thing they ran on their first defense. And this is the thing with the Widowmaker too, because you're getting a pick fairly early with the Widow, it's very quick for Twisted Minds to reset. But if it's like halfway through a fight, good luck. It's going to be tough for one of you to come back. They're kind of forcing positioning too. Both of Bliss and MCD have to travel together in a pair, hold hands, and make sure Bliss is there with a shield to help MCD cross these vast open chasms.
Yeah, but Toronto is still putting so much responsibility on Merit to be able to get these picks with the Widowmaker. And with Twisted Minds on the attack, they can see this and just switch Quartz over to the Widow as well. So Merit has to get these picks.
Right. Full wraparound into the choke. Was spotted, of course. But Widowmaker shot, leaving behind a tracer round. Yeah. Lab to poking the Widowmaker out is really good, but still can't overextend as the Pharah. Slightly more predictable movement when you don't have your little thrust attack. Body shot's good for a little bit of damage, but slowly but surely. Now it's one fight for Twisted Mind. No mistakes here, or a draw is the best they'll get. TVNT is low though, and that's a big kill. Can Twisted Minds go for a reset here? Or even Labja getting a pick? No, okay, backing all the way up. Rose, they got one more shot on this.
Of course, he's going to switch over to the Widowmaker though.
Has to land a shot.
He's hunting for it.
Sugar Free's above him right now. Sugar Free can just jump on him whenever he so chooses.
Press forward.
He's waiting for someone to peek, but I don't think that opportunity is actually going to come. All right, Sugar Free joined the rest of his team once again. Bliss under a lot of fire, but Labra actually finished off with the Genji. TVNT still going super low though. Oh, and Quartz is the perfect shot! RuPaul Vega down. It's all on Merit now, but Quartz says absolutely not. This is my map. Twisted Minds. They wipe Toronto to fight off this, and they're going to tie the series up.
Such a close affair on King's Row. This came down to those final couple of seconds, and of course, you can see why the Korean teams are saying this guy is scary. Such a good hit scan, someone you have to put a lot of respect towards. Able to clutch it up for Twisted Minds to be able to win them that map. Such a big pick.
All right, how does Toronto Defiant kind of respond now? Their map choice. Thesaurus consulting the book of secrets. Do you still want to take that duel? I mean, at the end of the day, you can trust Merit in the 1v1, but how will they stop Labda also kind of getting away with murder on the far is a big question for me.
Takes a lot of really good positioning, as well as the coordination of something like the Genji, even a Winston jump. That's one way you can just completely crunch the Pharah, make sure that she doesn't have free reign over your entire team. And we did see them utilize a lot of those skills in our first map of this series. But King's Row is just such a different beast. You have these long sight lines you need to play around. Almost requires you to have to play like the Ashe or the Widow, which is what we saw both teams lean into.
Some of these shots are absurd, both from Merit and Quartz. This rally as well, look, Cage can't end up using it, and unfortunately, as soon as someone tried to, you have to be outside that cage. It is a movement ability, so you're not able to actually use the thing. So it's kind of the perfect cage there for TVNT to lay down. That was really their saving grace, and I think you pointed out quite rightly. See if the Queen makes a resurgence, but I've got a feeling we're just going to go back to Mauga again, a little bit more safe. I love the aggroness of the Queen. Obviously, NRG Shock have been doing very well on the comp.
But Energy Shock even have their own flavor, where they're running something like the Sombra to be able to bolster up that Queen. Something that we haven't really seen Toronto want to lean into. Sugar Free's just so good with this Genji. I feel like it's going to be difficult to see them switching off of this comp, and something that you know that Sugar Free's so good at.
Yeah, elated. I would be too. Map number 3 coming up in just a moment. We'll see where we're going to go. Oh, Gibraltar picked by Toronto. So, no substitutions either on either side. It's going to mean dive. Probably a lot of Widow, probably a lot of Ashe as well. So, expect to see someone on the Winston. You can still play the Mauga here. You know, it's possible, but dive still rules this map.
I want the dive.
Yeah,
I want the divey dive. Someone on Winston. TVNT gets a chance to play the Diva though.
Right.
So I think still pretty comfortable for both teams, but I feel like it's even more uncomfortable for the Pharah. So while you do get a chance to see the divey dive, you still also get a chance to stunt this Pharah that has just been so prominent for Labda.
Right, the long sight lines make it so much more difficult. You're just constantly in the sights of the enemy Widowmaker or the enemy Ashe. It is very tough. And Toronto know this. They know that Twisted Minds at this point, they're just running this like one-trick comp. Like, we're gonna play Pharah, we're gonna play Ashe/Widow or a hit scan every single map. So why not take it to a place where Pharah's not as good? And we can play someone on the Winston. We can play the dive that we are just so good at.
Something that's so fun to watch when watching someone play Winston is just how aggressive he can actually get with these dives. Doesn't give time for any of those hit scan players to set up. If you want to actually send Sugar Free on the Genji, then someone can follow up with that damage with the Winston and even provide over some of that support with a bubble. So lots of ways to be able to keep those DPS safe while making sure that your DPS can foster.
Just before we get into games, everybody's getting a hoodie. It's a little cold on stage.
It's a little
It's
cold
quite warm in here with
Sweden.
all the people, but it's a little bit cold on stage.
Have you stepped outside?
It's freezing. It's freezing. Very cold. I like it, personally.
I don't.
Okay. I like the snow. Do you not like the snow underneath your
I
feet?
like looking at the snow.
Oh, okay. From the window?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like living in the snow. That's a lot of work. Have you tried shoveling snow?
No. I live in the UK. Or I did. So, we got like an inch of, not even an inch, like a centimetre worth of snow, and that was it. It's getting worse now, but hey, it's all good. I'm loving Sweden so far. Vegas
It has
happy,
been
just
nice.
chilling without a hoodie. He's good to go. Same with RuPaul. Smiles on the face all around from both teams. And Quartz very much warmed up and even warmer now with the hoodie on. Should be getting into Gibraltar in just a second.
Have to keep the hand warmer.
Oh, 100%, yeah. You ever play with cold hands? It's the worst. Ain't no one wants that. All right. Map number 3, Toronto Defiant and Twisted Minds. Going head-to-head in the first of 3. 1 apiece currently in this elimination match. Can Toronto topple them on their map pick? on a comp they've been very comfortable on, just time and time again, is dive. Merit going to the cat, of all things, a little Cassidy Tracer with someone on Winston. This is definitely a place where Vega could play the Alari, but Brig definitely better. The enemy team's going dive. You don't want to play the Alari, you will die. Very quick.
But RuPaul does get to play the Ana. Love hearing the crowd go wild for our teams here.
Yeah, RuPaul's Ana, very scary. One of his best heroes, if not his best, I would think. And we are seeing, yeah, TVNT, like you mentioned, on the Diva. Doors unlocked. Labda on the Mei. I wonder if this is just a quick wall off, potentially, or just going to stay on it. Okay. It's going to be quite frustrating to actually control the payload against the Mei, especially under Car Wash.
Well, Labda just has limited opportunities to use this Pharah, so maybe makes a little bit more sense to try to go for this Mei. You get the slow and the freeze with your primary fire, and then you also have that high ground access with the wall.
TVNT getting slightly hindered there. They need this under the Car Wash. That is where they will be strongest. Oh, what a nade from RuPaul! It's the backline and Quartz. Oh, MCD and Bliss. Bright purple. Yup. There you go.
I never miss my mark.
What a nade from RuPaul there. That's exactly what they want. They want Twisted Minds to force themselves into Car Wash. RuPaul can set up with a nade. TVNT needs to eat every single one, or they fear just getting wiped and maybe even held on this point. The Ana just so unbelievably strong here.
And your defense matrix is still a limited resource for everything else. You have the sleeps, you also have these hinder grenades from Merit. There's so many things you're looking towards.
MCD, antied again. RuPaul being rather cheeky, he's actually hiding around that little block there, not showing himself. They don't know where the nade is coming from. Luckily though, for Twisted Minds, MCD stays alive.
Orbital Ray now for MCD to let loose. Maybe open up this attack for them. As you see Toronto, give them respect in space.
Sugarfree's doing an amazing job though, but he is refusing to let Twisted Minds push this payload. And he's in a good spot to get healed. Oh, that's a big wall. Almost to help Merit get a kill there. There's the stick, hits the shield, does some damage, but that's it. Sugarfree still holding on to this payload though, as Twisted Minds try and find the wraparound onto the high ground.
Payload is completely alone.
There's the orbital ray. They're going to switch sides now, but not before they kill Merit. Anti-nade connected with TVNT, but they can't get the kill. And now eventually the payload will get going.
They went out the war there. That positioning now, that high ground has been broken. Twisted Minds can look at finishing out this first point. Another life here for TVNT with that Diva Bomb, but you also have so much sustain with this rally as this Blizzard.
TVNT just getting up in the face of RuPaul, getting a little bit personal there. Zade comes in, hits Labda, high noon, Blizzard popped from Twisted Minds. The fear of the Winston, I suppose. 0.95 meters before it gets locked in, and somewhat the end of his primal rage, he is going to get nano, so the staying power is quite ridiculous for Toronto Defiant right now on the point. Block expended by Labda as well, and this AoE damage coming from someone is just insane. It's already 50% towards another ult. A Sugarfree finishes every single member of Twisted Minds off, and yeah, that's a bit of a stagger. Couple of extra seconds bought by Toronto Defiant.
Well, that creep was disgusting. Absolutely gross. The fact that someone is going to have maybe even another primal rage if they stall out long enough, it's a really big deal. Sugarfree has another pulse bomb as well as another high noon for Merit. Labda has switched over to the Pharah, though they're really looking for more of this one-shot potential from the combo of Quartz and Labda together with 35 seconds left.
What a boot there from TVNT. Just boost him against the wall, a little bit of a weird rock to heal. So RuPaul I don't think he had a full LOS. Sugarfree can still dance on the point though. He's still stalled for time, looking for a target for the pulse bomb, however. MCD in his sight. Gets one clip into it, maybe a second. Oh! Sugarfree takes one with him, and now he's putting pressure on Bliss. Bliss cannot peek right now. And with 10 seconds to go, Merit is back in the action. Sugarfree's done it again. Bliss dead, Quartz down. 5 seconds to go. Who's here? It's only TVNT without a self-destruct. That ain't happening. He gets another touch. D-suited. And Toronto Defiant They're going to hold Twisted Minds on that first point. It was like 0.95 meters from getting there. Tall task for Twisted Minds now. They don't want to be in a match point situation. Not against them.
Initiating match.
So close, but so far. Toronto has such a good defense, especially when they were playing around that blue box, right above Car Wash. It just forced Twisted Minds into these really awkward positions. Putting Labda on the Mei was certainly one way that you'd be able to help stem a lot of the pressure from this Toronto comp. But then even at the end of the day, when Labda goes, okay, maybe I just have to play the Pharah, it was a little too late.
They are really squeezing as much as they can out of Twisted Minds. They're forcing Labda into a situation he doesn't want to be. I mean, think about Labda and the Mei pick at the very start. Like, who are you freezing? Who are you using that Blizzard on? He ends up throwing it down to try and stop someone who was primaling. It leaves on a pretty small cooldown when you're primaling, so he just jumps out. You can't pin down Sugar Free. Merit's like off in Narnia. Same with RuPaul and Vega, a very, very tough task for Labda to get anything done. You can't really blame the guy, but even then, switching over to the Pharah, like you said, a last-ditch attempt. It didn't end up working out. 10 seconds till the gate unlocks. So you Twisted Minds, they're running the Mei again.
They are running the Mei again, and that does make it a little bit more difficult for Toronto to be able to get this attack. Yeah, the Mei much better on the defense. You have those walls, you have that freeze, which will help you to at least alleviate some of the escape mechanisms from Toronto. But even as you see someone just kind of scouting a little bit, it's like, okay, they've got the Mei again. How do we actually want to approach this? Sugar Free on the Tracer, and so we're still seeing a run back here from Toronto. Merit on the Ashe, though, is certainly one way that you can try to break through with just some really good damage.
Stagger out in the Car Wash. This is how you have to play the Mei comp, but RuPaul's ready for it as well.
Look at him.
Big name in the back. Oh, TVNT. What a heads-up play. Heard RuPaul jumping down, but look at the position right now that Toronto Defiant are in. Labda knows it too. Trying to pressure out RuPaul, but he's getting beat to the punch. That crack shot aim from RuPaul, serving him well there. Nade up as well. Oh, no Matrix? No problem. Goodbye, TVNT. Goodbye, Twisted Minds. Toronto Defiant only lose someone, and now they're on the last corner. Match point in their sights.
Someone's gonna have Primal for this as well. So even if you want to try to contest the card, you're just gonna bat everybody away. Look at where RuPaul is sitting too. Hit him with the nade.
Does TVNT know? I don't think he does. Oh, Quartz does! A 4-man anti might just do it though. Bliss and MCD struggling to stay alive. Same with TVNT. A D-Mech and a Primal Rage. A very angry someone you have to deal with now. And that's not gonna happen. Toronto Defiant now on match point. One map away from knocking Twisted Minds out of the competition. And EMEA as a whole. RuPaul, honestly the GOAT for that one. Those anti-nades, his honor play in general, just ridiculous. You can see exactly why they wanted to go to this match, this map. They just want to stress Twisted Minds out as much as possible. What are you going to play, Labda?
Well, you couldn't for the Pharah, so trying your hand at the Mei, but I'm just like, I'm so tickled by the fact that RuPaul went out the way that he did. I thought that was so funny. I want to hear what the desk has to say about it, though, because this has been a great match so far. So, Desk, what do you think?
What do we think indeed, Necrojoss? Thank you both so much. Let's break down what we saw thus far. Toronto Defiant currently leading, and they're doing exactly what you said they're going to do, Jake. We have too many J names in this broadcast. Like
Sorry.
Jake, Johnny, Jack.
My bad.
Yeah, I don't like, get with it. I don't know. S names are pretty hot right now, just saying. Either way, Toronto Defiant also pretty hot right now. They're doing exactly what you said heading into this match. They're happy to counterpick. They're happy to take Twisted Minds to places which are uncomfortable, be that a map or a certain composition.
Yeah, Ilios and Gibraltar, really tough spots to play. The Pharah, you know, they do win a round on well. That's definitely to Twisted Minds' credit. But I think now the threat going into this series, we have Push and Clash/Flash remaining to be picked. And that puts Twisted Minds in a tough spot. I feel like you basically have to pick Saravasa here for Twisted Minds to make the Pharah viable on that mode. maybe they can make it work on the Clash. It's possible, but I would be surprised at anything with a Servasa pick, which means you may need to face down a Coliseum map 5, and just strategically, this is the weakness of being a team where, you know, your composition is so telegraphed.
Yeah, I feel like overall Toronto Defiant has kind of established themselves as the team in the driver's seat in this series. They're doing a great job of adapting to whatever Twisted Minds is bringing, but we have to highlight Quartz. Just an unbelievable performance here on King's Row as well. And Lambda is doing his job on the Pharah, the rest of the backline, trying to survive long enough for Quartz and Lambda to find these picks, right? But it's been a dominant showing so far from Quartz, and I think he has to be the go-to player for Twisted Minds if they want to come out of this series on top. Like you're saying, Jake, there's not a lot of great Pharah maps left in the map pool for the last 2 maps in this series. Now it needs to be Quartz just continuing to put pressure on Toronto Defiant and rack up these frags. Because as much as we talk about the meta being the great neutralizer, the greatest neutralizer is just hitting headshots, and that is what Quartz is doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, this has been their strength as well in their match against Team Falcons, right? When Quartz and Lambda were able to just free fire when they were uncontested, they shut down the opposition no matter how good they are. So if they can take it to a Korean team, surely they should be able to take it to Toronto Defiant as well if they're having a really on day.
I mean, individually, yes, I think that the fragging power is there, but so far, at least, any time that Toronto gets their way, gets to set the strategic tone of the match, they're just bringing such a hot pace. There's not much time for Quartz and Lambda to work, and that's exactly what you have to do against these greedy backlines.
Let's take a look at our map stats here in the series so far. Toronto currently in the lead at 2-1. What are we seeing here, Reinforce?
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, it's a Gibraltar first round hold, so not too much information to actually yield from this stat card itself. I actually do think the more interesting conversation is talking about, like, where do we go next for Twisted Minds? And if we take a look at what they did in Stage 4, when they were still playing Lambda on that Pharah, of course, they did like to go towards Runasapi. And it's also a map we've seen Sauna from Virtus Pro example. He's played the Pharah on that map as well. Now, it's a pretty good Genji map as well, so I have no doubt in my mind that Toronto Defiant, they're going to be very comfortable wherever they're taken. But Twisted Minds, they got a bit of a choice, and Runasapi is a map they've gone to in the past.
Yeah, we're giving a few minutes to, you know, settle in before we're heading into the next map. We have a Twisted Minds interview ready for y'all, so let's enjoy that and see what they had to say.
Hi everybody, I'm Danny.
Here with Matt Mr. X, I'll introduce myself and Twisted Minds.
Let's go!
We're going to do an interview with Twisted Minds, but we're going to do it a little bit different. Since Sweden is known to be the land of put together furniture, we have decided to host a little competition here during our interviews where they're going to be able to put together this stool, and we're going to see if it'll survive Danny Lim.
Yeah, I'm going to be sitting on it. Hopefully I don't die.
So after Stage 4, what's been the prep like coming into this event?
We've been scrimming for a bit time now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Practice is good. Yeah. And you guys have had one of the wildest years, I think, of anybody. Like the ups, the downs. How do you think it's, you know, made this team better, or like even evolved you guys as players?
I mean, of course, it has been hard, but I think it sort of like built us as a team. Now, whatever happens, I feel like we can be ready for it since we already went through a lot of stuff.
You've gone through basically everything a team could go through within a year, right? So you guys play Falcons early on. What's your thoughts on that match? Excited to face off
Yeah, we're
against
excited.
them?
It's gonna be easy to win against them.
Ooh,
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah, very easy.
Hey,
Of
look,
course, bro.
Like this.
FC 선수.
예.
FC 선수는 지금 우리 스톡홈에서 이 팀만은 내가 꼭 이기고 싶다, 좀 보여주고 싶다 하는 팀 있나요?
저는 팔콘이요.
파큰 선수.
왜냐면 저희가 첫 경기이기도 하고 개막적이기도 하고,
그죠.
또 아무래도 바로 작년에 이제 같은 팀을 했던 한빈 선수도 있고, 뭐 어떻게 보면 세계 최고의 팀이기도 하고, 그래서 좀 팔콘을 이기고 싶어요. 팔콘 아니면 이제 NRG. NRG도 이제 전에 같은 팀 플레이했던 뭐 켈란 선수나 어택 선수도 있어서
켈란도 있고.
아무래도 전에 같이 팀 생활했던 선수들을 좀 이겨보는 게 목표인 것 같아요.
I gotta ask, how stressful was that last match in like EMEA and that whole
Against SSG?
situation? The one to like qualify to get in.
We got told after the Virtus Pro match.
So you guys are probably super excited after the first pro
we were
match.
celebrating. Then we see the team chat message saying that we need to win one map with UB. So now we have another thing to complete. We have to win one map against SSG.
Yeah. And then I guess that went from happiness, we've made it, to, oh man,
no,
we have 24 hours
Yeah.
to like figure this out.
For me personally, like, I knew we wouldn't win against them. I think they're the better team, but I was very confident that we will at least take one map from them. Yeah, like especially Junkertown, I think that's my best map.
Yeah.
How's the chair looking? Because I'm getting kind of worried that I'm not going to be sitting on anything.
Honest,
I'm not sure about
I'm letting them work, so I'm not sure.
I'm not sure too.
But I think we're doing pretty good, yeah.
What would like playing in a finals or even like the high of beating a team like Falcons like mean to you guys?
How you strong?
I mean, I think Falcons is the best team in the world, so
Like this?
us beating them means we're the best team in the world.
And time is up.
Oh no.
It's fine, guys. It's fine.
And we will get a Danny Lim seating.
Love it. Just flip it quick before it falls off.
You should hold the support beam.
There you go. Yeah.
You should hold the support beam in your hand.
No, I have full trust in Twisted Mind.
Yeah.
Wait, let me just brace my core. That's good. All right, thank you guys so much. Yeah, let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. Toronto Defiant, one map away from eliminating Twisted Minds here in the OWCS World Finals at DreamHack Stockholm. Oh, it's a close one, but that watch point Gibraltar was anything but. I mean, just ridiculous Ana play coming through from RuPaul. And Rose, we're going to a map that I didn't expect we'd see, actually. Runasapi, and we're going to push.
The desk actually talked about this one, so take a look at Gibraltar being one of those ways that Toronto can put a stop to Twisted Minds being able to play this Pharah. Runasapi opens up those doors again for Twisted Minds to lean back on that composition with this Ashe and this Pharah. But they talked about another side of this coin, and that is that Runasapi is also very good for the Genji. So Sugar Free also in prime position right now to still play that hero.
Yeah, we haven't had many post-match maps at all, and I mean, it was quite a popular mode, especially during the regular season.
To be fair, we haven't gone to many map 4s.
Oh, that's, yeah, okay, fair.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, doors unlocked. Last chance for Twisted Minds to come back. Elimination game here in the lower bracket. Toronto want to march on forward, prove NA is greater than EU. Merit coming out on the Soj. So Soj and Genji is someone on the Mauga versus the Yale Faithful in the Ashe Pharah.
Sojourn has great mobility with that power slide, so Merit opting to play this hero just to know that you can get better rotations, better angles, faster with this particular hero. Look at how well he's able to keep up with Labda on this Pharah, just keeping him in mark.
Nice sight line as well, down this center straight here. Labda super low. Double railgun shot there from Merit, didn't need to charge up fully at all. TVNT low. It is an absolute treat to watch Merit on Sojourn. I mentioned it at the very top, and I'm glad we're seeing it now, but one of the greatest plays of all time was Merit hitting that triple collat on Colosseo way back when. That was 2022 when Sojourn was first played.
The first one and probably the last one that we will see in pro play, but still one of those moments that you will remember forever. Merit's also going to have this overclock ready to go for this next fight, as we do see this push bot start to approach that first checkpoint. Just needs maybe a couple bits more of damage.
Very easy to charge railguns. No shield there. So it's going to be hard for TVNT not to give Merit a charge. All right. Standard jostling on the side here, on this full corner. Speed ring. Sugar Free going pretty low, has to deflect pretty low as well. So the missiles from the Pharah are going to be a little bit more deadly, and I think Toronto Defiant know it. Has to just regroup, get back to 100% HP, and go again.
MCD is still got orbital ray.
Oh, what a bash. Ends up taking care of two people there. MCD with the orbital ray, but Merit is sitting high and dry up in the skies here. MCD's trying to pay attention to him, but Merit completely unimpeded, and that's checkpoint for Toronto.
You can see both of those teams just playing so patiently, waiting for the other to actually round that corner. It's like, okay, we jockey for position until one of you actually decides to hit the gas. And it was Twisted Minds that decided to go first with that orbital ray. Quick pivot from Merit, big overclock. And we see Toronto get this first checkpoint with ults to spare.
Oh, okay. Well, you always got to count on Quartz. Double headshot onto Vega. Here comes the orbital ray. Lab just in trouble in a very awkward spot. Bob's there to delay, but here's the blade coming through from Sugar Free. He's already found one, and Bliss is dead. A little reset there, looking towards the bot. Any stragglers hanging around? Oh, TVNT didn't didn't expect to see you there, but it's actually Quartz up on the high ground, kills someone in RuPaul. Sugarfree might be able to get out alive. They've got 82 and a bit meters, but an ult dump from Toronto Defiant not going the way they expected it.
It's okay though, because they still have that cage. And they didn't actually give up too much of that ground either. So someone comes in, they play this neutral fight with that cage, but Twisted Minds have a little bit of an edge when it comes down to having that barrage to pair with their own. The rally as well from Bliss means that those close quarter fights should be a little bit better for Twisted Minds. We'll have to wait and find out. Similar situation, they're waiting for the other team to go first.
Also, Sugarfree wants to try and get around the sidelines here. Same with Vega. Vega's going super aggressive. Bliss under a lot of stress right now. And Sugarfree, and then look at those assists. They're just running Bliss down. Same with MCD. A surprise attack from Toronto Defiant renders the backline of Twisted Minds just a swift death for them. And they're not going to be able to get to the center point either. I mean, TVNT is trying to kill Vega, and he does so successfully, but it's a scrappy fight. And not a single meter gained by Twisted Minds.
They use the cage in that fight as well, so that's a big ultimate they don't have anymore. MCD has started to surpass RuPaul a little bit, going to have another orbital ray for this fight. A little bit off kilter in terms of those. But like, is that enough to actually keep Lapis survivable enough to use his barrage?
This ends
Happened
now.
before, but we see it again. Overclock popped by Merit. They're looking at Quartz right now. Bliss, everybody in this full room. MCD, the rest of Twisted Minds are just lining up for Merit right now. Bliss does end up using that ult there, so you've got a lot of help trying to deal with, but I mean, Labda's barrage doesn't find all of anything. It kills the cage, sure, but where's the additional damage? Bob comes through, make it an even 5-on-5, but quickly dealt with by Merit. And now Lab's just trying to find a kill, but the blade from Sugarfree once again. Oh, he's just decimating them. Oh!
Almost
and not a
ace
single
there.
emotion on that face. He is purely locked in. A 90-meter lead to 0.
Well, he can't celebrate yet because the job isn't done. They are getting close to finishing out this map though, and what a statement if they send Twisted Minds home this way, completing this map.
Twisted Minds have used their, do you know what? They've used the orbital ray to try and gain space. Vega down, here comes the charge. MCD under a lot of pressure, and RuPaul just hops up into the skies. Pulsar torpedo kills 2. A map completion in the sights now for Toronto Defiant, although their health bars are lacking.
Sugarfree and someone do need some healing, but not before someone's able to get yet another kill onto Quartz. There is that respawn advantage for Twisted Minds, and TVNT can lock people in place with this cage. But Twisted Minds are getting desperate. They know they could go home here.
They're buying time as well now, and as soon as Bliss spawns, he's already dead. Sugarfree RuPaul gets some kills. Quartz finally getting a hold of this fight. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. 128 meters to 0. We've seen crazier things, but can Twisted Minds pull off what looks to be a miracle?
They have to play perfectly, and it all starts now, winning this fight at this midpoint and finally starting to make some progress in their own territory. But boy, do they have their work cut out for them. This cage, this barrage might not be enough.
I mean, RuPaul is just going to use the orbital ray. They are going to win this mid-fight unless something disastrous happens. Those pulsar torpedoes from RuPaul hitting everybody as well in the front line. And Quartz was a non-factor in that fight. He was off on the sidelines trying to get an angle to get a pick. But the keen senses of someone sniffed him out, made the call, and Toronto Defiant went in.
They're playing so fast. They're playing so fast that there was no setup time for TVNT. There's not been any setup time for Quartz and Labda. And Toronto have really cracked this. Blade, overclock, cage, maybe a rally. Toronto might close it out.
Cardiac overdrive on that blade's going to heal him up, something proper there. Bliss already dead, Sugarfree. He goes low. Quartz manages to coach gun him away and finish him off with a single shot. But again, Rose, this is all time off of the bank. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in Twisted Minds. They're winning fights. That's great, but they haven't pushed the bot a single meter.
They need to win these fights back to back, and that's been the biggest problem. Now, looking at how little of a time bank is left, this rally, this orbital ray, they have to count in this moment. Of course, maybe with the bob can help to push people back, but
This ends now.
Look at Toronto, we're already here and fighting.
They're moving too quick for Quartz to set up. Merit eventually shut down, pop the overclock, and gets stomped on by TVNT. Okay, this is the comeback you need if you're a Twisted Minds fan right now. There is a rally, there is a Bob available, but now they got a whole task ahead of them with only 1 minute and 50.
But it was really economical. MCD only used the Orbital Ray there while they ended up getting 2 big ultimates out of Toronto. Both DPS ultimates not on the table for this next fight. And so if Twisted Minds want to make this comeback, this is the perfect opportunity. Do it while there are no DPS ults available. Maybe even try to push the tempo a little bit while RuPaul doesn't have this Orbital Ray either.
Sugar-Free matches Quartz there. Try to, again, get an off-angle flank, maybe kill. Merit's going super low. There's the cage. Bob gets deployed as well. That's a lot of damage coming through from TVNT and a lot of sustain too. Oh, Bliss! He ends up using the rally at the end of that fight, and I think that fight was won. That might be an overextension from Twisted Minds, but they wanted to guarantee themselves this checkpoint. A team kill comes through, and with 1 minute to go, Toronto Defiant have got a lot of breathing room.
Twisted Minds need 2 more decisive fight wins to make a huge comeback in this map and take us to a map number 5. Lambda has the barrage, but that is it.
There's the flank kill he wanted. Merit takes a double headshot. And now the Tides very much, they're in their favor now. Oh, Lambda! Reflected barrage. Ends up going straight back to him. But will it be enough? Vega, he's in a sticky situation, but it's all good. You got Sugar-Free with the backup. The messier the Toronto Defiant make this, the better. 20 seconds to go, and Bliss is turning tail and running, leaving TVNT on an island. He secures the kill, but Bliss is in trouble. He cannot afford to go down, and Quartz respawns and gets back, but now we're in OT.
OT and MCD's gonna have an Orbital Ray. A cage here from TVNT as well. This close quarters fight is so good for Twisted Minds. If they want to make the comeback, they still have to win 2 more fights, but they potentially have the tools to do it. Sugar-Free, though, has a blade. It's been a huge difference maker for Toronto. But can Twisted Minds win here and keep themselves in the series?
They're trying to look at Quartz there, trying to make sure he doesn't get anything. A sky-high blade for Sugar-Free. Oh, the dash doesn't work! The deflect too! Sugar-Free can't do anything as Quartz! He takes him out! MCD kills Vega as well. Still in OT, a Twisted Minds with ults to spare. Toronto Defiant get team kill, but overtime is still ticking. 30 minutes to go now. They've got to keep themselves in this. This is their only chance now.
But Toronto have to walk into this cage. TVNT can just set that up on the point with a rally.
Rally, Orbital Ray, overclocked for Merit. They've got time, they've got the tools.
Let's see if they can get the job done though. Twisted Minds, this is their last hope to keep themselves in.
Rally, Ray, how do you survive this one? It's gonna have to be a miracle. Cage gets deleted, TVNT, the focus, Bob deployed, and Buzz Vega is just sitting swinging. That Bob kills 2. Quartz with another? Are you kidding? You can't be serious. Quartz is still alive. He's on the high ground. He has a flank on them. And now someone, the main focus right now for Twisted Minds, and a barrage in their back pocket. The golden line of victory. They're approaching it. A map number 5. Sugar-Free ends up coming back on the traces, same with Merit, but they need a miracle kill. The barrage is too much for them. RuPaul at least kills 1, but Merit kills another! TVNT on the Diva manages to kill Merit. A couple more meters to go, and the whip shot! Bliss's whip shot knocks Doom off of the point, and they make an unbelievable comeback. 128-0, and Twisted Minds managed to reverse Toronto Defiant and bring us to a map 5.
This was their map pick. If Twisted Minds were gonna get it done, they got it done in style. But now, how do we settle the score? Unbelievable. That would be mental damage to Toronto after having such a big lead.
A reset here for Twisted Minds. Just a ridiculous comeback, and who'd have thought? I think everybody, that Quartz would be the main man in the action at the very end. The Bob deploy to kill the Genji, and then he was just free to shoot the front line, and then take high ground, and then just shooting someone down below, throwing as many dynamites as humanly possible. Map number 5, a decider. EMEA's last hope in Twisted Minds could get knocked out if Toronto end up picking a map that much favors their comp. It's been a back and forth series so far, coming down to the wire.
In this last map pick, there are just not that many choices left. I feel like you just, if you're Toronto, you try to continue to put this Pharah on the back burner for Twisted Minds.
What is the choice? Can't go to control, can't go to hybrid escort push. Clash point, obviously. Available. Jump to some highlights from that last map. That is a very tough map to lose. With the amount of leads that you actually gained initially, and the control of the battlefield too. Merit at the very end was shut down a lot of that time. Eventually, TVNT was consistently able to get on top of Merit and stop him from charging rails, just sending them over and over and over again. Looked like a very won game, and you called it out halfway through. This isn't over. 128 meters. Sure, they've got that far, but anything could happen on push. We've seen this time and time again on Runusapi.
And sometimes all it takes is that one fight, that lack of confidence, to just have everything fall like dominoes after that point. And after you saw Toronto lose one fight, it's like, okay, wait a minute. Is Twisted Minds actually going to push the tempo enough that they can string these wins together? And they did, especially in the chaos of it all. I love that you called out the fact that we saw Quartz get this high ground position. How do you dislodge that if there's no Genji? You have nothing else to be able to jump up there and touch that hero and take him off the high ground.
He was so free here, you can see it. And then TVNT was able to come back on the Diva, absorb a lot of that damage with a defense matrix, and then Bliss at the very end, a little whip shot, a little bash onto the Doom, to then eventually net that payload. 128 meter comeback for Twisted Minds. And a map number 5 now on the cards. Haven't had a closer match than this just yet here at DreamHack Stockholm.
This is a level up Twisted Minds though. You know, it's been kind of crazy to watch their entire season. They won the first stage of EMEA. We get a chance to see them at DreamHack Dallas in a very weakened state because they just can't have their full team there. And now, everybody having so many months now to work together, the same roster, sticking as a unit, and really just showing up in full force, despite the fact that maybe it is a little telegraphed that they're going to play this Ashe and Pharah. They're still making it work for themselves.
That was pretty intense. I think we should jump into, quickly here, the winning comms from that moment. You can see how much it meant to the players. Let's take a listen in.
Nice! Nice!
I mean, you saw the look of someone's face there, just wondering what really happened. These push maps, they can really get away from you. We have seen it a lot, actually, in the previous stage 4. Runusapi comebacks, they can happen. But to happen in a loser bracket situation with your life on the line is a completely different story.
This is so tense. Both of these teams tying up the series 2 apiece, and the final map going to be deciding everything. This is what we want out of a World Finals.
Question is, where do we go? It's obviously Toronto's choice. Going to New Junk City. Okay, so a lot less Pharah. No substitutions either for Toronto or Twisted Minds. We know how much Toronto want to play dive-style comms. Ilios, Gibraltar, very good at that style. They've won them both. The Malga, which from TVNT. Kings Row as well. Just a very, very solid, like insane, not even solid, like insane performance actually, from Quartz. Showing up on a stage like that, you saw him at the very end of the team comms, even it felt like he could not believe how close that was and how clutch every single member of the team was at the very end there.
But look at what he gets a chance to do when he's afforded the space. playing with momentum like that, Quartz has so much time to just kind of sit back, allow the rest of the team to make sure that he is completely supported and gets free reign over the enemy team. That's something that we're going to see Twisted Minds try to fight for very hard in this final map.
It's going to be a very quick one, I'd imagine. Quick as in, maybe we'll go to, 5 points, but quick as in tempo of the actual map. Someone jumping over to the Malga. It's going to be a Malga clash. I want to know what Merit's going to do. Is it going to be the Sojourn again? It's very effective on a thing, like Flashpoint. Very easy to charge your railgun shots, and especially on that first point too. If you get an overclock, very easy to collateral people. Merit's been an absolute monster on the hero and kind of proved it that map previous as well, but can he stand up to Quartz? Quartz just came in a little bit more clutch at the end of the day. Two players on very, very even footing with each other.
Two different styles of play though. If Quartz wants to actually play the Ashe and Merit wants to try to go for the Sojourn, then you are looking for these really, really big attacks, but I cannot believe it comes down to this.
All right, let's jump down over to Golden Boy though. We're going into a map number 5. Let's get this underway.
All right, DreamHack Stockholm, you ready for game 5? Oh, no. I'm gonna need a little bit more from you. Are you ready for game 5? All right, folks, here we go. You're gonna see that countdown on the screen, and you gotta give these players all their energy. Let's do this. Show the countdown. Countdown with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for game 5, baby!
It will all end here. New Junk City. One team going home and EMEA's last hope in Twisted Minds. Facing off against the Kings of North America in Toronto Defiant.
This series has been so back and forth. I cannot believe we're going to settle the score on this 5th and final map. And what a brawl it has been between these two teams. On the one hand, you have Twisted Minds that have leaned heavily into this Ashe and Pharah comp, and very few teams have been able to take them down, but Toronto has figured out that key to success. This sugar-free Genji. Merit looks like potentially hovering over something like that Sojourn, just to be able to rely on those big mobility cooldowns. But all these DPS are so powerful, and they require so much of that respect.
I'm just sticking on Pharah too. Quartz just TPing the rest of the team out. Little speed boost, little TP. Gates open, and the bout can commence. Quartz on the sim. Okay, this is a look we've seen from them before on New Junk City. Very hard for someone to step up here.
We have, because it plays so tricky with those symmetric teleporters as well. Knowing you also have those turrets to help amplify that damage, someone's gonna have to be very careful.
Merit down, but TVNT traded. Can Quartz get the ramp up damage here and just burn someone? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Twisted Minds with the Symmetricon. I can imagine Toronto were expecting this. The turret's not doing too much in the battle. Very easily kind of taken care of. If left unattended, can do some considerable damage. Doesn't look like Quartz is going to change either. Very happy to roll this out.
It closes the distance so well. And if you're this Twisted Minds comp, you want to try to afford yourself as many possibilities to get these team fights when you know you need this setup for this Pharah. So they're in again, but Toronto is waiting for them. Vega might have a rally too.
Well, RuPaul's already started himself with a bang. Slapped it down. 50%. Now Twisted Minds need to make a decision. I think the decision is going to get made for them, I think. Nice bash away there from Vega, just trying to stay alive. Vega doesn't end up falling. Bliss might be able to get another one. What? Okay, Bliss kills 2. This isn't good. Although Bliss is going to die eventually. There's 2 DPS in the tank looking at it.
But it's okay that Vega ended up falling there because the rest of the team fight was already won. You hold on to this rally as well. And so with Toronto looking at this next fight, trying to close out this first flashpoint, you're going to have 5 ults in the bank. So much setup here for Merit to be able to sit behind the rest of the team, try to get these railgun shots in.
Quartz in with the TP. He's got the wall available soon. Here comes the rallies and the Juno ults. Those orbital rays coming in, but Sugar Free pops the blade, looking for a target. He goes in, wall deploys, bash 2, so he's going to get knocked back briefly, but someone's there. He's picking up the pieces, he's putting them together. This should be a point. for Toronto Defiant now. Sugar-Free gets a couple of resets, and there it is. Toronto with one on the board.
Everything used in that last fight, though, for Toronto. They knew that being able to win that first flashpoint was so crucial. We're going to see Twisted Minds be able to hold on to this barrage and maybe have this cage to be able to pair with it. But look at where they're waiting. They're not even going to go to the next flashpoint yet. They're just going to fight here.
Try and go early, yeah. Quart switching over to the action as well. So that coach gun's going to be pretty decent for dealing with the oncoming onslaught. Barrage invested by Labda. Point unlocks in about 5 seconds or so, but Toronto Defiant don't need to worry about that now. As they try to encroach. They do burn an ult, but they will lose the heat as Twisted Minds got this cage available.
Always going to be so hard as the Pharaoh on this map to be able to make this barrage actually find value. So it's okay expending it now, have the cage on its own.
Oh.
And if Quartz just keeps getting headshots like that, then who needs the ult?
He really just can't cross. Oh, no way Merit dies as well. No. RuPaul and Vega there with the heals. RuPaul just spawning in now. Okay. Cage. So, like, this point is going to be very tough to actually assault here. They've got the Ray as well. They're going to wrap round to main. Surely Toronto Defiant kind of have a sneaking suspicion that these ults are available.
So tough because you have to pick one entry route, unless you want to split this up like Sugar-Free on this flank.
Oh, Blade's been pulled. Oh, Quartz is already super low. So only one splash was required there from Sugar-Free. Here comes the cage. And the Juno ult, this orbital ray. I don't think there's any chance of Toronto Defiant winning this fight. Yeah, TVNT and Labda, that AoE splash damage in the cage from the far is just, it's insane. And this is going to be Twisted Minds capping this point. Toronto Defiant now going to have to rotate to next.
It's a really good effort there by Sugar-Free to try to get the flank with the Blade, but Twisted Minds were so ready for that. Locking everything in with that cage. You have the orbital ray for all of that extra healing. And now let's move over to this next flashpoint where Twisted Minds are gonna beat Toronto to the punch. Waiting for them with this splash damage. Poke from Quartz and Labda, the rally to be able to back them up. But Toronto need to get into this fight and fast.
Yeah, they have such a nice position.
Twisted Minds are delivering so much damage while Toronto just sit here and wait.
Overclock, they got rally. Orbital rate on lock as well. Toronto Defiant, they've got a lot of options to work with. Point is going to get captive from Twisted Minds. I can imagine there's going to be a dash from Sugar-Free to stop that cap. High ground control now. Trying to be taken by Toronto Defiant as the point does go to Twisted Minds.
Can't give up too much of that space though as Toronto start to slowly make their way onto the point.
Oh, here comes the orbital ray from RuPaul though. Labda has got this barrage, but MCD is already dead. Yeah, there's just no way. You could see the potential game plan there from Labda, maybe use the barrage in the back line, but it would have instantly got deleted. 30% for Twisted Minds there.
Still so risky to try to set up that Pharaoh barrage. Maybe it's the tool that you can use in this next fight, but now the onus is on the other foot here. Toronto can just kind of sit back, allow Merit to try to pepper away some of these railgun shots. There's going to be this cage from someone that might be able to lock Twisted Minds down before they're able to come in with that damage.
Got to be careful of the barrage there in return. Someone's just waiting for them to enter, and Twisted Minds know it.
Now this cage is going to span the ceiling though.
Wow, what a cage! That's everybody locked in place. That barrage, it got one. Well, 0.1. It got the cage kill, but that was it. God, chase him all the way to spawn. Teach him a lesson.
Labda's gonna come out on the Symmetra. Is that to try to get another contest? Oh, it is. Look at that. Teleporter, they're ready though, Toronto.
Ain't no way you're ready for this Blade though from Sugar-Free. That's a whole lot of AoE damage. This finds one Quartz another, but the point goes over Toronto Defiant, and well, one more point for them to cap, and that will be matched. Twisted Minds back onto the far now as the rotation comes through.
Now, the Symmetra was just to give them a fighting chance to be able to come in and get a recontest on that flashpoint. But now Twisted Minds are playing on that back foot. One more flashpoint, they are out of here for the World Final. But they've got the cage, they've got the orbital ray. They do have the ultimate advantage at this moment in time. But the problem is you're playing in Junkyard. This is going to be a very difficult spot for this Pharaoh to function.
Course is 1 HP as well on the entrance. Flashpoint is unlocked. Forces another couple of headshots there, deploys the block, but you got to deal with those Juno Rays first. TVNT down. They got to LOS, or they got to go forward. Looks like Labda and Bliss are just pressing the issue in the front line, and someone, the last remaining member. A team kill as Twisted Minds cap the point.
Does not get any closer than this. Another first capture for Twisted Minds as they want to try to even this up on the final map of the series. Labda with another barrage, but again, running into the problem where this is just so much open space for this Pharah to have to fly through. Perfect into the sightlines of Merit's Sojourn.
Think about what ults they have for this fight. Labda's barrages have been rather unsuccessful so far, especially on that last one. Quartz almost getting taken out, but happy to repeat Merit as soon as he's full HP again. And here comes Sugar Free. Someone's got to pay attention to him at some point. There you go. Forced to use the reflect, but in comes the cage. Vega kills TVNT, and they cap the point. Wow, look at that quick reset from MCD, Quartz and Labda. They know they get staggered here. It could be a disastrous situation they find themselves in.
These flashpoints tick up so fast, so every single second is going to matter. And knowing that Twisted Minds still have this barrage to expend, they've got the rally on top of it now as well. They know they have resources to come back into this next fight with.
Oh!
But Merit, huge pick on the Quartz, that's gonna delay them further.
They have to back off. Sugar Free was hanging around now. Well, unfortunately for Twisted Minds, he has played. They have Overclock. They've got a lot of ults coming up.
There's just no room for error now for Twisted Minds. They've got one more shot at this to keep themselves in this series. Otherwise, they're gonna go home.
Toronto Punch is gonna go. They gotta find a pick. Oh, but it's RuPaul that goes down to Quartz. The Dynamite's good, and Merrick can't find anything. Someone from Twisted Minds has to cap the point, though. They have to touch. But are they actually gonna get there? Quartz and Labda are already dead. Someone's just fighting in their spawn with the help of Vega, who's got the rally. There is one touching right now for Twisted Minds, but that's about it. It's TVNT.
TVNT is there, but how long can he actually withstand on this point? Is it going to be long enough for the reinforcements to come back out of spawn? Toronto are coming back with this blade. 2 support ultimates in their pocket as well as they start to set up behind this point.
TVNT just saved them. They managed to get the cap. Blade available from Sugar Free as both support ultimates are available for Toronto Defiant and Twisted Minds. Junior ultimates are again deployed first. The barrage all reflected. Blade has been popped, and Sugar Free yet again goes absolutely nuclear. Toronto Defiant, they knock EU's hopes and dreams down a peg as they secure themselves another chance.
What a close match between these two teams, but Toronto ends up on top. Valiant effort by Twisted Minds. They brought them down to the wire, but expert meta decisions, strategic gameplay, and smart swaps coming through from Toronto are going to reign supreme at the end of this match.
From a 128 turnaround on Runasapi to a map 5 going down to the wire, Toronto Defiant have done it. They've knocked EUMA out of the competition. They will advance. On what was a very neutered look in Dallas, this team has continued to excel. And I think this is a very, very good match to look back on and see how strong Toronto Defiant really are. A back and forth series, Rose, and an insane one. And who better to finish it out with Sugar Free's Blade?
Just the cherry on top of that match for them. This roster has been so fun to watch the entire season. And Toronto, this could just be another big chapter in their book as they look to get even further in this competition.
Well, it looks like we've got an interview on the stage with Danny and someone, so I'll throw it over to him and we can get some final words.
Jack and Rose, thank you very much. That is right. I am here with someone from Toronto Defiant coming out from a great win. Amazing stuff. I mean, that was a very close series. I mean, this was your second match. I just want to hear from you, someone. How do you feel right now? 자, 굉장히 접전이었습니다. 힘든 경기였지만 끝에 가서 승리를 하셨는데요. 지금 소감 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
짐 싸고 집 갈 줄 알았는데 이겨서 정말 좋고 그래도 아직 경기가 아직 많이 남았으니까 최선을 다해보겠습니다.
I sort of thought that I had to pack my stuff and get ready to go home, but that's not the case. We did get the win. We have more matches coming up, so I'm gonna stay focused and try to win that one as well. Talking about your next match, you have one more match, third match of the day. I know you're tired, but I know you got this. You guys are up against Energy Shock. How do you think that match is gonna play out? 자, 세 번째 경기 하나가 더 남았습니다. 서문 선수 이제 쇼크와의 경기 좀 어떻게 흘러갈 것 같나요?
저희가 지금 워밍업이 두 경기를 해가지고 잘 돼 있는 상태고 Our team is better!
Our team is better. They are all warmed up, ready to go. So let's not take any longer. Desk, back to you.
Thank you so much, Danny. Toronto Defiant are staying alive. Let's take a listen in on their winning moments.
That cage?
네, barrage 네.
Yeah, cage barrage.
조심하게.
Super. I can it.
Yeah, okay. Push. 막아.
Fucking best.
Easy.
GG indeed, and what a way to end it all. That plate from Sugar Free, just the cherry on top. But what a close series! Like I'm feeling like the exhaustion radiating off of someone right there. Because first, of course, a massive beatdown against Raccoon, got to recover from that as well, and then afterwards, taking it all the way to map 5. That's gotta put a strain on you.
Yeah, this is not the spot you want to be in, facing down your third match of the day, but unfortunately, that's where they are, and then they're going to have to fight back against an NRG that has been resurgent, that has been looking really strong in this day of play. So honestly, a tough spot motivationally for Toronto Defiant, but when it comes to the individual skill, when it comes to the playmaking, they have such phenomenal players. I really do believe that they're going to put up a very good match for us in the next round.
Yeah, both when it comes to adapting to the enemy composition, they're doing a great job here, dealing with Labda on the Pharah as well, but just individually, Merit on the Sojourner was just fantastic here on Runasapi as well. And when it comes to Sugar Free as well, I mean, I feel like he just provides the X factor. The Genji has been so reliable from him all year. He's the North American MVP, of course. So this entire team, I feel like they're in this position now where they can, of course, rely on their individual skill to pop off, have individual moments. But similarly, they have that flexibility, and that is so crucial when you're staring down opponents like Twisted Minds, for example, who play this unique Pharah composition. And now, next, you're going to battle off against NRG, who are playing a Junker Queen composition with Sombra at times. And so it's going to be another situation where, Toronto Defiant, they're going to be forced to adapt once more.
Yeah, a bunch of big moments here. I mean, for Twisted Minds to actually be able to battle back from what looked like an unwinnable scenario on Runasapi. Still, well, you got to give congratulations to them. Well played that they were able to force this to be such a close match against a team like Toronto, who honestly put them into some unwinnable scenarios. Like Gibraltar was kind of unplayable for them in their strat. The Winston just ran the table on them there. Ilios as well, really difficult spot to beat for Twisted Minds. And yet, on the maps that they, were strong and comfortable, they managed to eke out those wins, even though they were incredibly close and competitive. Well done to Twisted Minds. I think though their tournament ends here, they have had the best result from EMEA, and I think that's worth celebrating.
Yeah, it's a great run.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, the individual players and the way they popped off throughout this tournament, they turned it up when it really mattered. They made teams such as Falcons sweat. They took a map off of them, and that's something none of the NA or EMEA teams has been able to do.
Yeah, I mean, Quartz heartbroken right there.
Yeah.
And that was such a close win on push as well, when they were able to turn that around 128-0. That's an unbelievable comeback. I mean, we're talking about it. It's so unlikely.
We called that one like way before time.
Okay, Jake was still commenting like, if there was a push map to come back, it would be Runasapi because, there was like one bad ultimate cycle there. Toronto Defiant, they didn't get value from the orbital ray, and that kind of snowballs, allows Twisted Minds to get back into the game. And I mean, Twisted Minds, they even made it close somewhat here on New Junk City. I feel like that first round with the Symmetra, that was so pivotal, but then you see TVNT, he's kind of peeling towards an indoors area. The rest of the team can't help him, and first point falls apart. Then you're fighting like an uphill battle, because then you have to win the refinery round. You have to win the duct. And those are inside rounds. It's hard to make that far work if you don't have positioning. They did make it close here on New Junk City, but it was a map they were always going to be disadvantaged on.
And you know what? Like they stuck to their identity. They stuck to what they felt. They just excel at and look best at. And I love when a team just decides to die on their very own hill.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, I think, for this team. I think they made the right moves strategically in this tournament, but the opposition was just too fierce. I feel Sugar Free was also such a key, pivotal player on the Genji in this matchup. I mean, traditionally, we think Genji doesn't have the best matchup against Pharah, but Sugar Free's use of the deflect was a real game changer. I felt constantly throughout the series, he was deflect killing onto this Pharah, whether it's the barrage, places like this, or sometimes getting that final blow with a deflected rocket. And, you know, when a Genji's playing that well around the deflect, it's such a mental thorn in your side because you're constantly sort of questioning yourself, even wanting to constantly put pressure down on the enemy. You have to think twice when you're facing that deflect. So well done by Toronto Defiant to close this out.
Yeah, and here is our player of the match, Sugar Free, earning himself that MVP honors. I mean, with that blade at the very end, no question about it.
He's starting a habit of winning moments.
Right?
In stage 4, it was the Genji deflect against Seeker on the Cassidy with the high noon that sealed the stage 4 win against them, for them actually against Nightmare. And once more here, you know, it was the deflect onto Labda and the Pharah. So if it comes down to the final fight in the next match, NRG, just be careful for the sugar-free deflect because it's gonna come in handy. But you know, equally as well on the Tracer, he's just a phenomenal player. And he's the X-factor for this team. Really, I do think so. When Merit is on that hit scan, yes, you can look towards the Merit to be like the impact player, securing so many picks on the Ashe, for example, or on Sojourn. But if you have to play Echo, if you have to play Genji, that's when Sugar-free can go aggressive with blades like these and make a big difference.
I mean, the Tracer was ferocious as well. I think this does put NRG in a pretty tough spot where maybe Toronto can kind of bring that same formula, right? Taking us to Gibraltar, to Ilios, to maps where the Tracer Winston comp can really thrive. And I think that would be their comfort zone against NRG. But on the flip side, I feel NRG looks really good against this Mauga comp. This might be the meta, but NRG has such a good read. The way they execute the Sombra is going to be really tough to match without a lot of preparation against this team. So honestly, strategically, I kind of like where NRG's at, and they should be sitting pretty, given that they've had a match to rest and watch.
That's right, because Toronto now has to play their third match today. We saw it right there in the post-game interview. Someone already saying, like, I was ready to pack my bags. Now, you got to come back from that as well, right? So they have a few minutes, of course, to collect themselves and get ready for their match against Energy Shock, who have been sitting prettily waiting for their next opponent. But yeah, maybe Toronto can make that salty run back through the lower bracket. What a story that will be for these players. For now, we're heading into a quick break. And when we're coming back, we're not just having the last series of the day. No, we also have a special